Richmond of Coinsquare. Eric, very nice to meet you for the first time.
Nice to meet you
and
as well.
interview you for the first time as well. What brings you here, first of all, at the Canadian Blockchain Summit in Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great organization. It includes a lot of the Canadian trading platforms, but also just the community in Canada, and we've really built a very strong network here. And this is a wide, you see the sort of diverse nature of our industry. People that operate mainly in Canada, people that are also international and beyond our borders. And I think Kalea, who's the lead of the organization here, has done a fantastic job of bringing together the community and talk about the key issues in our sector.
Absolutely agree. Love Kalea. She's a true champion and ambassador for our industry. So you have a pretty direct line of sight with users, with Canadian crypto investors, retail, for example. Could you speak a little bit to some trends that you're witnessing? Are we seeing a bounce back? Are you seeing greater volumes? Please tell us.
Yeah. I mean, especially the last few months with the change in the market, and yeah, we've seen definitely a bump. And hopefully we're on the cusp of something big here, right? There's obviously a lot of speculation on the US Bitcoin ETFs being approved, and you see what happens when fake news comes out about that to our markets. And so, there's definitely is a trend. Also, if you look at the macroeconomic factors, there's some very positive indicators out now that we might have a soft landing, and that's really starting to bring back some of the risk-on type assets that crypto is still perceived as. And so we are seeing some really good inflows, and then you still have the adoption of institutional investors adopting the technology, understanding that Bitcoin is a hedge to some of their other alternative investments. So, there's been some really good indicators as of late, which is great to see.
Speaking of Bitcoin, we're seeing Bitcoin dominance remain very strong. Could you speak a little bit to some of the other cryptocurrencies that people are investing in today? Any trends you're seeing there?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the layer 2s obviously is a big focus. There are a few L1s that have been really strong as of late. Solana being the obvious one, Avalanche as well being another strong one. Meme coins still have prominence. I think people still appreciate them. They're still out there, and they actually have some value in the sense that usually their transaction fees are actually very cheap. So people are like, oh, meme coins, what's the point of them? It's like, well, to move something on on the Dogecoin chain, for example, it's pennies compared to some of the other chains. So there is some actually value there, and so we have seen some good inflows sort of across the board in some of these different. And I would actually say, while Bitcoin dominance has gone up, the altcoins have as well increased, even as of late a little more. It's good. It's been good to see. So you sort of see that flow coming through Bitcoin, and then it sometimes filters into some of the alts.
So the latest macro news, I would say, that has really hit the crypto space is the fallout, if I could put it this way, of Binance. The fallout, it might be a little subjective, but post FTX, post Binance, if that does indeed happen, what does the crypto trading platform of the future look like?
Yeah, so I mean, you're gonna have a platform that you can trust, right? When I started in the space, it was in 2016. The first rule of thumb was do not keep your assets on the platform, right? Now I can confidently and proudly say, there are not only it's probably easier at times to keep your funds on the platform, and then you don't have to worry about what happens to your keys if you lose them. But you can be confident in that, and there's insurance, there's coverage for that, and so you have a platform that's a lot more safe and secure that you can trust to really use. You also get advantages like Coinsquare, as an example, is a CIRO-regulated dealer. That's no different. CIRO being formerly IROC in Canada, they changed their name. And so that is no different than how a TD Securities, a BMO, Capital Markets, RBC, any of those are complying with. It's the same rules and requirements that platforms like ourselves need to follow. And with that, there's obviously from an investor perspective, it's like, okay, well, we're obligated to do things such as the best execution. So basically go out to the market and seek the best price for our client to ensure they're getting the best execution on the fill of their orders. There's obviously the surveillance around that to ensure that from a surveillance of the markets, there's no front running or any bad activities happening with their trades. And then finally, there is protections, right? Like from an insurance perspective, Coinsquare is able to offer CIPF, Canadian Investor Protection Fund insurance of up to $1 million for every single client account for the cash in their accounts. And that's some of the added benefits of being a CIRO dealer. And so Canadians really can find CTPs that they can trust. And then what's the next phase to answer you? It's moving beyond just spot trading in crypto, right? There are other areas that hopefully we can eventually continue to be the leaders on in Canada to push out some of these new products and services that you typically see with being offered by other traditional finance platforms, right, in the securities sector today.
So we're on the cusp of 2024. What is your surest prediction for 2024? And you're not allowed to say the Bitcoin halving.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, surest prediction for 2024. There will be a Bitcoin ETF that's launched in the US. I'm pretty sure at that point. It's definitely not happening this year, and I say definitely, and hopefully I'm wrong. But I do definitely see it coming in 2024. So that's my prediction.
It's a good one. Thank you very much.